Hello, I'm Cole,
And I'm Jessica.
and we're here from the Mountaineer reviewing M3gan. Well, we saw this movie about nearly almost 2 weeks ago, so we enjoyed it, but our thoughts might be kind of like convoluted since it's been a minute. But I just want to ask, what were your general thoughts about this movie?
I don't know, personally, so I'm not a huge scary movie person in general. Like, when I do go, to see one, like, I'll never, like, I like to go, like, like what we did with, like, a group of friends, but, like, some people can kind of just turn on, like, a scary movie at home at night and watch it by themselves and be fine. Like, I'm not one of those people, but, like, with that being said, I didn't really think this movie, like, I wasn't really, like, scared by it. It was just kind of, like, eerie and creepy.
It's definitely a popcorn horror film, especially with Blumhouse being head of production. That's the kind of horror films they invest in. It's not like an A24 horror film or a neon horror film. Mm-hmm. But I was genuinely surprised by it. When I first saw the trailer for this film, and the memes that went with the trailer, I really didn't think much of it. I just thought it was gonna be like another cash grab of the whole like haunted toy,
a Chucky.
Yeah, but with like kind of like a modern day twist. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I really dig the message that I was going for. Saying how we have become really non-communicative with each other and how much we rely so much on technology, especially with children. Mm-hmm. So that aspect I was very impressed with. Like, what aspects did you enjoy about this film the most?
I think I felt like I ended up liking it more than I expected to going in. Mm-hmm. I had heard, like, a lot of people were, like, seeing this movie, and, like, everybody,
it just came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting this film to make a lot of money as well,
right.
But, yeah.
Right, but, I had, like, sort of high expectations, but, like, I didn't really, like, go into it, like, really expecting to, like, leave and be like, wow, this was, like, an amazing movie, but I think it was definitely original because, some horror movies, they kind of just like to recycle, like, the same plot lines and, it's just with different characters, essentially. But I think this kind of took, like, a reused concept, kind of, like how, like, the, like, possessed doll, like a Chucky or an Annabelle. And I think it really modernized it in an original, unique way. I think, it was kind of almost like a social criticism, like what you were saying, of, like, how, like, just reliant we become on technology. And, now we see, like, kids around the age of, the girl Katie in the movie who, their parents just, like, throw an iPad in front of them and it's like, okay,
the opening scene, she's using an iPad that comes with a toy. I'm like, mm-hmm. And you're thinking, like, why doesn't she just play with the toy? But we're getting stuff like that now. Like, you go to dinner and you see the usual with the kids' noses are just all up in their phone. Mm-hmm. You see like toddlers, like, with these really expensive iPhones, and this technology has kind of like replaced the doll. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a lot of children toys. But definitely wasn't expecting that from the film. And this is a PG-13 rated horror film. I'm surprised about that because there's some pretty, like, gnarly scenes.
Yeah,
in the
kind of gory.
Yeah, like, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, and it was really great because the audience we saw it with was pretty packed. Mm-hmm. And I haven't really had, like, an experience seeing a horror film recently where the audiences are kind of, like, yelling and cursing, oohing and ahhing at the screen. So it was nice to see that, and it kind of felt like a shared theater experience, which I enjoyed a lot. My criticisms with the film is that it's trying to say a lot, but sometimes it's not really well executed, just by trying to make M3gan like another comic relief type of character. There was times where I didn't really take herself
with the singing.
Seriously as I should be, and I didn't really find the characters likable. Like, they didn't really build on the relationship with the main little girl and her aunt. I just felt kind of a coldness there with that plot point. And I didn't really, when these characters were in danger, I didn't really feel for them just because they're characters weren't really developed upon. It's definitely a more style over substance type of film. It's just it's relying on Megan being weird and creepy and funny at the same time, and sometimes it was kind of cringy. I didn't really find the kid as likable. I thought the kid
was kind of a brat.
Yeah, she was a brat. And like we're supposed to be kind of like, fearing for these characters, and I felt pretty cold with them.
I mean, personally, like, I did feel like somewhat of a connection, but I think, I don't know, like, because like I've said, like, I've seen, there's been multiple horror movies I've seen, like movies like this I've seen as a group, and, like, I don't, like, it was good, but I think, like, just, there could have been certain things done with characters and plot. Like, I feel like I did have some sort of, like, emotional connection. Like, obviously, I didn't want to see any of these, like, main characters die, but I think, like, there definitely was more there that, like, could have been built upon.
Yeah.
And I think, too, like, I'm a very reactionary person.
Yeah.
At horror movies.
I know.
I know. Cole knows. I mean, we've seen several movies together, but I think, like Cole, like what you were saying, like just being like in that crowd. I mean, for me, like the movie didn't even have to be like super good. I think just like being like in that, and I like when I'm like frightened, like you will know it because I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like just throwing out all kinds. Like, I mean, it's like I have no filter. I'm like, I know they can't hear me through the screen, but it's just it's the way I process horror movies, and I think just like being around like that kind of energy, like in a movie theater, like everybody was sort of feeling the same emotions together. I think for me, like that was probably my favorite part of the whole thing because, there were times when Megan was probably funnier and like cringy funnier than like she should have been. And it was just a lot of fun to see like the audience like receive that,
Yeah. Okay, well, let's wrap it up. What grade will you give this movie?
I mean, I feel like for like the genre it's in, I'd probably rank it maybe like 6.5, 7 out of 10. That's my opinion.
Yeah. For me, it's like definitely 6 out of 10, like a C. Yeah. But overall, I enjoyed the film, and so I'm Cole from the Mountaineer.
And I'm Jess.